If you are looking to buy something in the year 2026, hopefully this new launch is the one that you buy. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sherwin, and today in this video, I'll be giving you 15 reasons why you should buy. It differs a lot from all my previous analysis. This condo itself is a must buy and sure buy because it is definitely going to make you a lot of money. This condo is Rivelle. Okay, for some context, Rivelle is an executive condo. So sadly, only those that qualify can choose to buy. Okay, some quick information before we begin. The preview date for Revel will be from 6th of March all the way to 16th of March. So if you want to book a slot, right, for Revel, you know how to reach out to me. You can actually DM me or leave a comment below and I will reach out to you. Some quick facts. Revel is developed by Simlian. They are the developer and they are the builders as well. The previous EC that they launched right in Tampines is already 100% sold out. I believe everyone would know that it's Revel of Tampines. Okay, Revel itself is slightly smaller in terms of land size and in terms of the number of units. It's 99 years leasehold. You don't find a freehold executive condo anywhere lah. Expected vacant possession is 2030, which is about 4 years from now. Okay, and you have a total of 572 units. And this is the unit mix and breakdown, which we see very commonly nowadays from Autoplace, Revel, Coastal Cabana, all the way to Revel. There's no 2-bedroom anymore. They are more family oriented. You have the 3-bedroom premium and study forming about 42% of the entire condo, followed by 4-bedroom, which forms the majority at 51%, and lastly, the 5-bedroom for, I would say, those that are very cash or CPF rich at 7%. Okay, I just want to jump the gun here. All the layouts are very efficient because I have visited the show flats. Okay. This is my table of content. This whole video will just be me telling you why you should buy, and why you should effing buy Revel. And of course, the last part is contact me if you want to buy. Okay, so first, I would like to talk about price. When it comes to price, right, there's 5 things which I will address on. First is the current OCR new launch pricing, followed by the future EC pricing, and thirdly, the gap with surrounding resale. Fourthly, the gap with surrounding new launch, and lastly, right, the profitability from all the existing EC. Okay, some of it are repetitive. You have heard it many times before, but because it's repetitive, right, doesn't mean it is not true. Everything stands true. Okay, so firstly, let's just dive into the OCR new launch pricing. These are all the land bid break-even prices. Okay, as you can see, this is all the way from 2023 to 2026 as of today. And a lot of them, if you notice, have already crossed the 2000 PSF mark. So where is Revel? If we were to rank it based on the cheapest all the way to the highest, right? Revel is the fourth cheaper land bid from 2023 all the way to 2025. Of course, to be fair, most of the rest of the units over here are private condominium lah. But then again, EC will be privatized, semi-privatized in 5 years, and fully privatized in 10 years' time. If I have an alternative to go for a cheaper land bid and a cheaper launch price, right? Why not? Okay, so you'll be entering at a very affordable price in today's market. Okay, so what are some of the new launch price that have already been launched? If you look at it, Revel of Tampines, the land was sold on 2023. They officially launched 2025 before CNY, and the average transactor price is 1768. Okay, the neighbor next door with similar attribute, just the MRT and all the commercial is downstairs, right, is selling about 600 PSF higher. Okay, then you have Autoplace, which is also a launch that was introduced last year on the west side. I also feel that is one of the better or rather best buy in 2025. So if you manage to get Autoplace, really well done. And the light is in your favor. They have like the Holy Trinity. They got schools, they got MRT, and they are in a rapidly developing estate. So it fits all my criteria for the max growth in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, then we have Springleaf Residences, averagely selling around 2002 PSF. MRT at your doorsteps also perform very well. I think they only have a few units left. And you have the Sen, not really that well performing, averagely around 2003 PSF. Not really in a fantastic location as well. It's Upper Bukit Timah, but not that near to MRT station. Canberra Crescent, known for selling at EC pricing. So an alternative, if you didn't get a good ballot number, you can look at Canberra Residences. Canberra Crescent, or the next one, Coastal Cabana. I feel a lot of people, like my clients wise, right, they look at Coastal Cabana, they all want to look at Rivelle first, and if they couldn't get Rivelle, right, then they will circle back to Coastal Cabana, because in terms of like location, product, Rivelle is definitely better. And if you look at their break-even price, right, they are almost about the same. So I believe developers will be launching just slightly higher than Coastal Cabana as well. And if you can get something just like almost 500 meters with the MRT station, right, why not? Okay. Then after that, Faber Residences did rather well. Nara Residences is okay, not that well, not that underperforming. I think it's something where you can consider, because there are some units going at 2000 PSF, 2001 PSF, which is reasonable. The only thing which I will consider for that is that it's not near any MRT, and HDB upgraders might be limited for the short-term time period. Okay, so how much do I think Revel would be launching? My own safe estimate would be the lower floor and slightly inferior units will be starting from 1008 PSF all the way upwards to 2000 PSF. And I will not be surprised at some at 2001 PSF. So if they launch at 1008 PSF, if you look at this price matrix over here, right, just some disclaimer, this is just something I did, not what the developer is going to launch at. Of course, if they launch at 1006, 1007, then everybody huat lah. Just depends on your ballot number. So at 883 square feet for the premium 3-bedroom, it's lower than 1.6 million. Okay, if it's at 1850 PSF, it will be lower than 1.65 million, and if it's at 1009, it's lower than 1.7 million. Okay, so on and so forth. So I believe starting price for the 3-bedroom will be from 1.58 onwards, and for the 4-bedroom, slightly smaller unit, it will be 1.879 onwards. And of course, for the 5-bedroom, it will be above the 2.4 million mark lah, unless the developer is going to launch it at a lower PSF, which, based on past history, not that likely. So you see, if they launch at 1008 PSF, right, as compared to all the OCR project that has already been launched, it is still one of the lowest out there. Okay, the thing to note is not everyone qualify to buy. Okay, next point which I will bring across is the future EC pricing. If you look at all the break-even price, EC is going to be more and more expensive. Of course, whether our government decide to increase the income ceiling for EC buyers might be something up for debate in the near future. But as of now, you look at the jump, 2023 to 2024, they are all launching around the 1300 range. But from 2025 onwards, all the recent land bid for EC, they all surpass the 1450 mark, with the highest, right, at Woodlands Drive 17 being at 1615. So how much will the developer launch at to profit? If they're looking at a 20%, 25% to profit, right, they'll be selling above 2000 PSF. Just some context, Norwood Grand, the private residential condo, launch at 2000 PSF. So if you have an EC that's going to launch at 2000, 2001 PSF in the end of 2026 or early 2027, right, it makes Revel comparatively cheaper and more affordable. Okay, so the upside is much higher lah. Of course, next thing we will have to look at is the resale pricing nearby, because I always believe in comparing gaps. When you are looking at a certain project, a new launch, you also have to see how the resale in the surrounding is performing. Are they selling at the same price, or is the gap so wide that it makes more sense to go for a resale? So if you look at Aquarius by the Park, right, the 3-bedroom average around cheapest is 1.58 all the way to 1.7 million. And if you were to go back to how much I benchmark the Revel 3-bedroom is going to start from, right, average from, you'll be around 1.6 to 1.7 million as well. And Aquarius by the Park itself, it's almost a 20 years condo already. So in comparison, if they are going for the same price point and Revel is just slightly more expensive, why not go for the newer one, right? Unless your balloting number is really cui lah. But then again, if the balloting number really cui, then go for Coastal Cabana first. And if you are very, very rich, then look at Pinery or Parktown Residences. Okay. Next one will be Baywater, also an old condo. I think it's 2001. 3-bedroom is around 1.58 all the way to 1.8 million. And for the 4-bedroom itself, they have already surpassed the 1.9 million and 2.1 million mark. Okay, then if you look at how I feel the developers will price for the 4-bedroom, I think there'll be units below 2 million, around the 1.8 million range, all the way to the highest, maybe at 2.3 million range. Okay, and of course, to compare apple to apple, then we look at the condo that is slightly newer, also developed by Simlian and did amazingly well in terms of profit. Treasure at Tampines. Their 3-bedroom is slightly bigger, 915 square feet and 1033 square feet, but mind you, they are pre-harmonized project, so aircon ledge is counted, and they are averagely transacting at 1,008 to 1,009 PSF, meaning for the 3-bedroom, right, they are already going for the bigger units around 1.9 million all the way to 2 million, and for the 3-bedroom units, smaller unit types, they're going from 1.6 to 1.7 million. Okay, similarly for the 4-bedroom, they're transacting above 2.2 million all the way to 2.5 million. So from the price matrix which I did earlier on, right, you will see why I feel Rivelle is really a steal comparing all the resale nearby. Okay, so after comparing with all the resale nearby, we will have to compare with all the new launch nearby as well. Of course, some would say that it's not a fair comparison because one is a private residential and one is an executive condo. But then again, my reasoning is if you are eligible to buy, why not buy the more affordable one where the traits of the product, right, like in terms of amenities, transformation, will be similar in the next 5 to 10 years time. You'll most likely have higher upside as compared to those that you're buying above a certain price point. Okay, so if you look at Parktown residences, average units there, they are going for 2,003 PSF. Coastal Cabana might be the one that will be cheaper than Rivelle. Okay, Pioneer is going to launch soon as well. Their break-even price is 1,008 PSF. So right, if I am conservative, the developer is not greedy. They just want to earn about a 20% profit. They'll be launching from around 2,188 PSF. But is it likely? You look at Parktown residences, their break-even is 1,661, but they launched at 2,003. And they are, I think, close to 70-80% sold. Then you look at Pioneer, they bought 200 PSF higher. Do you think the developer, after looking at Parktown performance, right, they would want to sell lower than 2,003 PSF? Okay, just some food for thought. Then of course you have Rivelle, and the next nearest one will be a recent GLS at Bedok Rise, which was sold, and the break-even price is 2,449 PSF. So how much do you think the developer will need to launch at the point of time? Okay, estimated should be, even if it's 2,728 PSF lah. Okay, and lastly, I've highlighted this in many of my previous video, but I'd like to highlight again. EC in the resale market, if you buy a brand new EC, it is almost 100% you will make money. It's just how much you will make only. So last time people always buy BTO to make money, right? Now EC is the new BTO. The upside is really that much. You see EC with $1 million gains in 100 Palms, Bishan Loft, Sengkang and Tampines, and more EC resale unit, right, sold for $1 million profit. So to put things into perspective, HDB you sell for $1 million, maybe you will hit the headline. EC is you make $1 million. That is the difference. Okay, to break it down even further, look at all the average gains, right, from all the different reports like HProp, Stacks Home. They did research and I just reference from them lah. 100 Parks residences, this will need to be updated because this is, if I'm not wrong, it's 2025. By 2025, most of them MOP, and most of the units went for at least 81% to 90% profit, which is around 500,000 and above, with units making at least 1.2, 1.3 million. Okay, so even for the lowest one at River Cove Residences at Piermont Grand, they have an average gain of 32% and 35%. But one thing you have to take note, right, is River Cove Residences at the point of time in Piermont Grand, they haven't reached their MOP yet. So because they haven't reached their MOP, right, they cannot fully maximize the gains they have for executive condo. Okay, if not, right, I believe it will be more than 50% one, the average gain. Okay, of course, the top 15 highest gain in 100 Palm residences, I kid you not, the profit is 1.7 million. So guys, if you have money, just go and buy the 5-bedroom. Really, just go and buy the 5-bedroom. No point to go and try for the 3-bedroom or 3-bedroom plus study. At least minimally a 4 or the 5-bedroom. Okay, of course it depends on your budget as well lah. And these are the top 15 highest gain, all above $1 million profit. 1.7 million is really very 夸张 because you do not see new launch condo performing that well in the resale market as well. Okay, so after finish talking about the 5 points on price, let us move to the location. Location itself is fantastic. You have Pioneer, which is a mixed development coming up with all the commercial units, and you have an MRT station at Tampines West, which is already up and running. So Tampines West is so convenient, right? The downtown line, that it only takes you less than 30 minutes for you to get to the CBD area for work and stuff. Okay, so location wise, MRT is fantastic, followed by you are already in a mature estate. Okay, what differs from this and Tengah is still building, so there might be some sort of inconvenience and construction along the way. So for people that don't want to hear construction every now and then and want everything to be ready, like MRT at your doorsteps, you have your kopitiam, you have your Sheng Siong, you have supermarkets and all the shopping mall, this is the place for you. It is already a mature estate. And on top of that, right, you are so close to Bedok Reservoir. For those that are nature lover and like to do their 5km, 10km runs, they can just walk like 500 meters, cross 2 roads, right, and you reach the Bedok Reservoir area. And I believe this area would be very, very windy because I transacted a few other condos along this stretch. One of the main selling point, which is overlooked by a lot of people, is this area itself. Generally, the crosswind is very, very strong. Okay, so you might stay for the icon. Okay. So the first 7 point to recap for you, since we are at the halfway mark, the first would be OCR new launch pricing. We are one of the cheapest. Second is the future EC pricing. The gap is going to get wider and wider, and most of it is going to launch above the 2000 PSF mark. Third is the price for Rivelle itself is very comparable to all the resale condo in the vicinity, and some of them are really, really old. Okay. Fourth is the gap with surrounding new launch. It is the second cheapest. The cheapest will be Coastal Cabana, and lastly would be all the profitability from the past EC that has already been transacted. And in terms of location wise, 6 would be MRT itself is making things very connected and convenient, so accessibility is never an issue. And 7, it is nested in a mature estate, so everything you want you get. Okay, the only thing which I will highlight about the location is you do not have any schools within 1 km, so that is something people that are starting out a family might want to take note, unless you don't care where your kids go to school, or if you have no kids at all like me, you only have a lot of dogs. Okay. And now let us move on to the product. I've not emphasized enough. Simlian is a very, very smart developer. All of their project, right, if you go and look at their past floor plan, right, at least for the next, the previous or the past 3 to 5 years, right, their floor plan, right, is perfect. There's no way you don't fall in love with a Simlian project. Okay, so for the product wise, right, we'll be focusing on 3 things. One is the site plan efficiency. Second will be the floor plan efficiency, and lastly, right, is the developer track record. Okay, let us look at the floor plan. This is a given. All the units are north-south orientation. Okay, and you even have the premium bigger stacks, right, having almost a clear and unblocked view. Okay, everything is point block, so you only have 4 neighbors per unit, which is you started getting in new launch condominiums and the facilities are all very well spread out. Okay, so you have tennis court, you have your multi-purpose hall, everything is over there. The only thing which I would nitpick about this is for some of the units, if you were to see, right, for example, stack 3 and stack 27, the distance, if I remember correctly, is around 25 to 28 meters. That might be a bit near for you. Okay, but then again, it really depends on your ballot number. If you are the top 100, then you have a lot to choose from. But if you're not top 100, you have to compromise a bit on your view. Moving on would be the floor plan. Okay, personally, I have been to the show flat for the agent review. The floor plan is amazing. I would say it's better than Coastal Cabana and a lot of the new launch projects in the market today. And this is one of the reasons why Revel Tampines performs so well. It is because, right, Simlian understand the concerns of buyers today, and they know how to maximize the floor plan in the most efficient way ever. Okay, so if you to look at this is the 3-bedroom premium, which is the smallest unit type. Okay, you have a bomb shelter, you have a yacht, and you have 3 proper bedroom, and all bedroom, right, you can put a queen size bed. Even for the master bedroom, if you want to throw in a king size bed, you will still have space to walk around with. Okay, and one thing you've noticed for the kitchen itself, they have a glass window, which gives you the flexibility. If you want a bigger living space opening up to your kitchen, right, just hack away the glass lock, then the whole thing will open up. Okay, of course, north-south orientation, there's a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stacks for the 3-bedroom premium. Okay, followed by the 3-bedroom plus study. Everything is very similar. The only difference is they have an additional study beside the master bedroom, beside the bathroom. Okay, everything else is the same. If you were to ask me whether the study is necessary, it really depends on your family size, because for some they will use the home shelter as a storage, and usually for projects that has a lack of home shelter, then they might need the study room for their helper or to create additional storage. Okay, so I would say the study is a luxury. Good to have, good not to have, really depending on our budget, whether you want to stretch or not, because the difference between 926 and 883 square feet is around 50 square feet. So 50 multiplied by 1008, right? Let me just do a quick calculation times 50. Okay, the difference is around 90,000. Then you see whether it's worth it or not. it would be better if they allow you to hack the study and integrate to a master, okay? Another way is you just build a door over here right before the entrance of the study. Then this study will become a walk-in wardrobe, most likely for the missus. So if you want to please your wife, then it would be a good idea, okay? Now there are more units for this, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 stacks of 3-bedroom premium plus study. Of course, if you ask me what is the best stack, I feel 16 and 20 would be the best in my personal opinion. Okay, and following which we have the 4-bedroom, the smallest 4-bedroom type, beautifully done. Then again, cannot hear. Okay, one thing I should note is for the 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom, if you see entrance coming you don't face the balcony directly. Chinese, some of them might not like it because for feng shui reason, they say door cannot face the window, 漏财 or whatsoever. So maybe Simian study feng shui also, I don't know. But it's a very good selling point in the future when you're selling the resale market and a Chinese bank account and you tell them this. They will feel, oh yeah, you're correct. Yeah. But anyway, you have a kitchen, yachts, bigger living, okay? And 3 proper bedroom as well. So if you see one of the differences, right, it's just the living is bigger and you have additional bedroom instead of the study area. The kitchen size for the 3 and 4 bedroom is rather similar. 3 bedroom is slightly smaller, okay? But other than that, room size is the same. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stacks of this unit type. And my personal favorite is this 4-bedroom plus study, okay? I'll bring you the difference slightly. This is 1109 square feet. You only have 4 stacks. One main difference is you have a study area in your master, and you see how they layer this study area over here. It's a very flexible area. Remember in the 3-bedroom with study I mentioned, I hope that they can integrate the study with the master bedroom, right? This is how they managed to do it, okay? And this is, if I'm not wrong, the show flat might have this layout. If not, if you have seen Autoplace before, the master bedroom is really, really huge. And it becomes like a flexible space if you look at this. And of course, one thing to highlight as well, wall to wall, right? Some of the walls are relatively thinner. Those walls you can hack. So if you're like me, I don't have a big family, most likely you'll be hacking a lot of walls if I were to buy to make the study or the living room way, way bigger. Okay? Next will be the 4-bedroom flexi and the 4-bedroom premium. They are the same size, okay? Then where is the difference? The difference is in the flexi area and the kitchen. So for those that prefer to have a dry kitchen, the flexi area will move to the dry kitchen area. So if you compare, this is the dry kitchen area over here, this is the flexi area over here. That is the main difference. Other than that, right, the rest of it is the same. Look at the master bedroom. Come in, you have a huge space and you have like a semi walk-in wardrobe that leads to your master bath, okay? So the difference, I would say, would be this flexi area as compared to this dry kitchen area. But both are equally good. But if I were to choose, I would choose the flexi area because firstly, I don't cook, so it doesn't really matter to me. And this is really a very good layout because when you come in, it opens to a wide view rather than the previous 3 and 4 bedroom layout, right? You have a slightly more narrow living room, okay? And lastly will be the 5-bedroom type. This one is, cannot hear already. If you are cash rich, you have a lot of money, just look for me, we go and ballot. Most likely you will get it one. Because to buy this, you would need to have at least 1.2 million in cash and CPF for the down payment because your loan is very, very restricted, okay? If you have a lot of money but you don't know how much you can loan, you can look for me as well and I will calculate that for you. Only 3 stacks lah. And of course, all these 3 stacks would be in the best facing. Last point with regards to the product itself is the developer track record. Look at this video over here. All these are the past projects, right, which the developers have built. And let's look at the profitability of the most recent 4 projects. You have Treasure at Tampines, 669 profitable sales, 1 unprofitable sales. You have Treasure Crest, 180 profitable transactions, 0 unprofitable sales. You have Wonderville, 131 profitable transactions, 0 unprofitable transactions. And Tampines Trillion, you have 324 profitable transactions with only 1 unprofitable transaction. So in like 4 condos, total combined of more than 2,000 units, right? You only have 2 unprofitable transactions. Track record, super good. Want to buy Signian, okay? And the last point which I will touch on, the last 4 points, would be the upside of buying into Tampines. And the last 2 points would be the EC advantage, okay? So the upside of the buying into Tampines is you have to understand the east side transformation. It is not just the rejuvenation of the east as well, our government is actively injecting more new homes and more GLS as well. And we all know, right, all these GLS will push the price further up. Okay, so if you look at just some of the areas over here which they are focusing in the west, these are just some of the notes, right, which you do have to take note. Firstly is the Bayshore. Bayshore is one of the most expensive already lah. Okay, then you have Tampines North, Tampines South, Pasir Ris. The next upcoming one, which will be a very major transformation but will take a slightly longer time, right, would be the Paya Lebar Air Base, because we all know they are relocating already. Next is just the injection of residential, commercial and offices, which will bring in a new supply and demand into the area, which will benefit the Easties. Okay, and number 12 would be the accessibility. Okay, if you look at the MRT line, why the downtown line, TL line, Cross Island line and Punggol extension is so important, right? It's because of the shortening of the travelling time. If you are looking for a strong exit strategy and strong rental demand, the place must be livable. And ever since they built the downtown line, right, from Tampines West to a few areas in, be it the town area, the Punggol Digital District, or Gardens by the Bay and Changi Airport, because these are the areas where people are working or your future tenants might be working as well. The distance the furthest away is Tampines West to Punggol is only 31 minutes. Okay, Tampines West to airport is only 18 minutes. So for people out there that are looking to rent to pilot or air stewardess, right, this is a product which you can seriously consider. But of course, you can rent out after 5 years. So for the first 5 years, you stay long. After that, treat it as a form of investment. You can buy it in you can structure ownership in terms of like 99% to 1%, and the 1% you can decouple in the future if you want to get a second property. Okay, so Raffles Place is only 25 minutes before the downtown line, right? If you want to get to Raffles Place, right, you must change green line then go red line, which will be about an hour. But this downtown line makes such a huge difference, and it only costs you $2.07. So back and forth, maybe less than $5 lah. Which is like a Thai fund money. You don't even need to buy a car, okay? Because you walk to MRT, it's only less than 500 meters, and you take the train, it's only 25 minutes. So total, you're spending less than 40 minutes traveling back and forth. And the last upside for the area would be the limited new supply within the vicinity of 1 kilometer. Okay, if you look at the 500 meter radius, there's no immediate competitor. Of course, Binary will be launching as well. I think 1 week after Rivelle, if I'm not wrong, it's 16. Okay, do look out for that as well. It has its own USP, but I have to re-emphasize, if you qualify for Revel, look at Revel first, then you look at Pioneer. Because not saying that Pioneer is not good, but in terms of upside and your downside risk or whatsoever, I feel Revel will give you the highest chance to earn more in terms of capital appreciation. Okay, and if you look at 1 km radius, you have like 4 condos only. The latest being Treasure at Tampines, and it's from 2018. Okay, Clearwater is from 1997. Aquarius by the Park is from 1996. So these two are already relatively old. Of course, you have a freehold project nearby, but only 91 units. And if you look at the rental yield, right, for the freehold project, it's only at 1.7% as compared to the rest. So freehold doesn't mean it's always good. Just a food for thought. Okay, and onwards to my last 2 points on why you should buy an EC, and then you re-emphasize again and again. The EC advantage is very, very, very strong. Okay, MSR to TDSR, I've explained this multiple times. I'll just put it here for your reference, and I will briefly explain again. If you want, you can look at my previous video to understand this entire concept. MSR restrict your loan, okay, for the same income of $16,000. When you MOP, the person earning $16,000 can borrow $800,000 more than you. And what does this mean? This means, right, the person having the same income can afford to pay a higher price tag for the property that you purchase. Okay, not only they can afford to buy higher, their down payment is lower as well, which makes them more willing to pay. Okay, so summarize again, down payment easier, to buy at a bigger price tag with higher loan affordability. Okay, and the last point, of course, not everyone qualify for this again. If you know whether you qualify, just reach out to me and I will do the necessary calculation for you. Is you have grants available of up to 30,000. Of course, some of you might feel that it's not a lot, but money from the government is still money lah. You cannot get grant for new launch project, but you can get grant for new launch executive condominium. Okay, to round it all off, in case you all forget, these are my 15 points, right, on why you should or why you must buy or at least visit Revel, right, if you qualify. Of course, how you qualify is your income must be below 16,000. That's number one. And you must be Singapore citizen or Singapore and PR. Okay, PR and PR cannot buy. Go and buy resale EC. Okay, foreigners cannot buy. Foreigners will go buy in 10 years resale EC. But foreigners, I would advise you to buy. Go and buy commercial. Okay, so first reason is OCR new launch pricing. Very favorable against them. Future EC pricing was also one of the lowest. The gap with resale surrounding, the gap with surrounding new launches, and all the past track record from EC. Okay, the profitability. And next would be number 6 is location, distance to MRT. Very convenient. You are in a mature estate. Everything is ready for you. If you are as lazy as me. And moving on to the product, site plan is fantastic, full condo facilities. Maintenance is also slightly on the lower side, if I remember correctly. EC and always been on the lower side. Efficient floor plan layout. How you want to compare this, right? I think the video is too long. We just go and look at other Tampines and if I'm not wrong, water view and the Bedok Reservoir stretch, waterfront go and stuff like this. Some of the condos have bay windows, some of the condos have odd shape like at Tampines. Okay, very efficient layout where you can hack and point block. So guarantee, right, all your kitchen have fire stove, windows, and all your toilets have windows as well. Okay, and the developer track record, which is number 10, is fantastic. Simlian usually build their own project, so quality is assured. Okay, and the east side transformation, which gives you a massive upside with the rejuvenation and injection of housing population and supply. And the accessibility, which leads to strong exit strategy and rental demand because it is so convenient to travel to and from this location itself. And third, I think this is the point number 13. Sorry, too many points, I also forgot already. There's limited new supply, right, within a 1 km radius of Rivelle. So if you miss this, you have to get Pinery, which Pinery is, as we all know, is the price will be much higher, 2003, 2004 PSF minimally. And this is only, I think, starting from 2008. My guess. And the final point to this video, right, which I want to add, right, is not only am I giving you these 15 points why you should be buying Revel, I would be buying Revel myself. So I'm so confident in this project that I will be placing my own name for a chance to ballot. So if you're like me, or if you want to understand more, do reach out to me. Preview date is from 6th of March all the way to 16th of March. Hopefully I see you there. If you have any questions, do reach out to me or DM me. If not, that's all for my video. See you there.